Hey y'all, in this video I'll be showing you some soft slab techniques. First I'll be showing you two different ways to create a slab. Then I'll be showing you how to build with the slab. Soft slab is really useful for draping as well as creating organic forms. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to use thickness strips to create a slab. Right now I'm using rulers as my thickness strips. Right? That's going to dictate how thick these slabs are going to be. I'm also going to use a rolling pin. Right? So from here, I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to press it forward. Notice that it's only stretching pretty much in one direction. If I want to make this any wider, I'll have to turn it sideways and use a wider rolling pin to get a wider slab. But for now, this will seem to be good enough for our purposes for our next project. So here's another way to make a slab if you don't have access to a slab roller or a rolling pin. Honestly, you don't need them. You're going to start off with your clay in kind of rectangular form, like so. Right? And this is all finesse. It's all wrist work. It's pretty much a dance. Right? What you're going to do is you're going to grab your clay and you're going to toss it down against the table. All right? And you're going to follow through with your hands past your hip. You'll do the same thing the other direction, past your hip. So here we go. See that it's stretching in one direction. Now what's happening is as I put that clay down on the table, it is bending and stretching and falling down, and then inertia is stretching it out. Right? If I need to change the direction, well, either I can grab the other side and turn it, or if I want to go my other hip, I could do that as well. It's almost kind of like Drake in Hotline Bling. That dance he does. Yeah. Anyways, now we got a fairly consistent slab, and we can make our cuts from there. Alright, so now that we've got a slab, let's make something out of it. We're going to make a mug. Alright, so from here, we're going to grab the top of one of the mugs at our table. It's already a circle. Our base is going to be a circle, so let's make it a circle. Give it a bit of a tap, bit of a twist, and let's pull that right up and out. Alright, we're going to use this raised area as our bottom. So we're going to measure that. We're going to measure that out to be roughly 3.5 inches. Alright, it looks like it's more like 3 1/4 or 3 3/8. 3 3/8. But we're actually going to do a little bit of rounding up and simplifying of the formula that we're about to use. So the formula to find the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Let's simplify that to diameter times pi. We can even simplify that even further by just rounding. So pi is 3.1459 blah 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 into infinity. We're going to call that 3. We're going to call our 3.5 inch circle here, we're going to call that 4 inches. Just to make it simple math. So 3 times 4 is now 12. So we're going to find 12 inches on here. All right, and I'm going to make a line. Using the ruler as a guide. I'm going to make a mark at my 0 and at my 12. All right, and then we're going to measure up from there. How tall of a mug are we going to make? We can make maybe a 3.5 inch tall mug. Why not? So I'm going to make a mark here. I'm actually going to use a square tool. I'm going to line that up with the bottom edge here. That way I know I have a 90-degree angle. That'll help out. One more time on this other side. Double check my measurement on this side. It should be, what, 3.5? 3.5. All right, finally, we're going to go across the entire length. Line up the ruler. There we go. This is going to be a fairly short mug. All right, so let's double check those measurements before I start cutting. So what we got? We got 3.5, we got 3.5, we've got 12, we've got 12. Remember, this is extra. We're going to be cutting this down anyways. So I'm going to trim one end, trim the other end, discard what I don't need, trim the bottom. I'm using the length of the blade. I am not using the tip of the blade. You can make a straight line a whole lot more easily using the length of the blade rather than relying just on the tip. This will be the body of my mug, and this is going to be the bottom of the mug. At this point, since you're making a curved line, use the tip of your blade. All right, here we go. So now we got the bottom. All right, we can start to test fit or dry fit before we start scoring and slipping. And yes, we have extra. All right, it's always better to have extra. That way you can just trim it down rather than discovering that you don't have enough. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to give myself a mark right here. Show me where I need to trim. So I'm actually going to trim that first. Why not? Go away. All right. Now I'm going to make a diagonal trim. All right. I'm going to hold this up in the air. This is going to increase our surface area when we make a join. We're going to score and slip this together. And the increased surface area is going to help us out. So again, make a diagonal cut. I'm lifting on this side as I'm pushing down with my knife. Like so. And again, I'm still dry fitting. And it should fit together just like so. All right. So I'm going to disassemble a little bit. And I'm going to start scoring and slipping. So I'm going to score the bottom. I'm going to score around the top. Actually, I'm scoring in the opposite direction of the top. Radiating out from the center. Again, increasing that surface area, making a better join, making sure this thing does not fall apart on us. And then finally, I should score these areas here. Let's get some slip on here. And the last bit. That's around top. Fold this on in. Overlap right so. I'm going to start at this inside edge, and then I will press a bead of slip out as I join it down. So hopefully you can see that bead of slip that was pushed out. And now we can start joining. So I'm going to finish that join on the outside. I'm going to join up from the bottom all the way around the outside. It's not quite finished just yet. I have to join the inside still. I'm going to make sure that my join on the outside is doing just fine. On the inside now, I'm actually going to drop a coil with some of my scrap to reinforce that inner edge, that inside corner of the bottom. So again, tiny coil, drop it on inside, get in there. Line that up with the inside corner like so. Right? And I'm actually going to use the base of my knife to start mashing that in. You can use another tool, but I find that this helps. This works just fine. Alright, I'm now going to use that tool to kind of swirl around on the inside to join the bottom to the walls. Like so. And finally, I can also worry about this inside seam. So again, I'm going to use my knife and I'm going to pass it and compress that join that I've made on right here. Now we've got a mug. I'll just have to come by later and fix this seam on the bottom. Later on I can add a handle, I can add other bits and bobs to it if need be. But there we go, cylinder, mug, done.